Good afternoon and warm welcome to everyone. We are excited to conduct this informative webinar on Pharma Cold Chain. This session will explore the critical role of temperature controlled supply chains in preserving product quality and ensuring safety, especially in the pharmaceutical industry. This webinar is in collaboration with School of Pharmacy, DY Patil University, Navi Mumbai, and Maharashtra APTI, Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India. Just a quick reminder before we continue, we will be holding Q&A sessions at the end of this webinar. Please submit your questions by clicking the click here for option, the button which is located at the bottom left corner of your screen. So now, moving ahead, it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Rakesh Somani. So he is a professor and principal at DY Patil University, School of Pharmacy in Navi Mumbai since August 2019 till date, and is also the president of Maharashtra APTI. He has done his PhD from Bharati Vidyapeeth University, Pune. Professor Somani has received Mahesh Idol 2023 by Maheshwari Professional Forum, Pune, for exemplary work in profession and social service. Also, he has received Inspiring Education Hero Award by EGN India by Study and Learn 2023. He is leading contributor and influencer in academic research and industry at Advantage India Conclave, Mumbai. So over to you, Dr. Somani.
Yes, thank you so much, and a warm welcome and good afternoon to one and all present on this platform. On behalf of Maharashtra State APTI, that is Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers in India, I welcome all the participants and all the delegates who are attending this today's very informative and most importantly innovative topic of cold chain management. My dear fellow colleagues and the pharma fraternity who are watching, I think this is a new kind of arena coming up, rather as a career opportunity. Cold chain is how much it is important. We have really observed during the COVID period as well, and I'm very happy that the team of NAB is going to give us the entire in and out about this cold chain management. I'm further happy that the School of Pharmacy at DY Patil University is also going to be signing a MOU with this organization so that in due course of time we will deliver such kind of more talks and kind of courses in future. With this, I thank entire team of NABCCM for collaborating with our school as well as with APTI Maharashtra State, and look forward that this becomes a very innovative career option for the students in days to come. Thank you so much and namaskar.
Thank you, Rakeshji, for the wonderful address. Thank you very much. And moving ahead, we would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Vivek Maluar. So Dr. Vivek Maluar, he is teaching UG, PG students, coordination of industry, academic activities for research and development platform of DY Patil School of Pharmacy. He has 17 plus years of experience in R&D and 5 plus years of experience in academics. He's currently working as a professor, HOD in industry, academia, lining officer at DY Patil deemed to be University, Nerul, Navi Mumbai since last 2 years. Previously worked for Titan Laboratories, Markson Pharmaceuticals, Rubicon Research, Cure Pharmaceuticals Limited, and Aristo Pharmaceuticals. He has developed around 500 products, including solid orals, liquids, and semi-solids for generic market of US and Europe. He is an MPharm, PhD in Pharmaceutical Sciences, postgraduate diploma in management. So let me invite Dr. Vivek, over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, sir, for a beautiful introduction. In fact, I'm not a speaker. It's my privilege to introduce today's speakers of this webinar. As we know, all the audience are from pharma fraternity students as well as academic teachers. Friends, we know that we usually deal with the the quality of the products that we manufacture, like tablet, capsule, injectables, and we know the importance of the quality to be imbibed and to be instilled in the product. We frequently deal with the technical aspects of manufacturing as well as its quality, but we don't focus much upon its storage as well as transportation. It's basically a subject which is not that uh, continuously in our focus. As far as today's seminar is concerned, this cold chain management is nothing but it's a transportation of temperature sensitive pharmaceuticals products that includes vaccines, biologicals, antibiotics, which have a very important role to play as far as the storage as well as transportation is concerned. Friends, we frequently talk about GMP, GLP, GCP, that is good manufacturing practices, good laboratory practices, good clinical practices, but we don't stress much upon the good distribution practices that possibly in the for the days to come will be the topic of much importance as far as the pharmaceutical business is concerned. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's speakers with all of you. The first speaker is Mr. Avinash Prasad Verma. He's the founder of NABCCM, that is National Accreditation Body for Cold Chain Management. He's a registered pharmacist having nearly 2 decades of industry experience. Has expertise of global regulations pertaining to pharma good clinical practices, that is GCP, GMP, as well as storage and distribution practices, that is GDP, and drug supply chain security, that is track and trace, built on extensive industrial experience. He's a subject matter expert in the pharmaceutical, biotech, vaccines and clinical trials, nutraceuticals, perishable foods, temperature control packaging, cold chain management and operation pertaining to storage, distribution, packaging, temperature monitoring, and track and trace. He is proficient in R&D, program management, business development, operations, and supply chain management. He is a certified independent director with ESG expert certification and a consultant with United Nations for sustainable cooling and cold chain for pharma and food sector. MBA in International Business, Masters in Clinical Research. He is a co-founder of NABCCM. Our next speaker is Mr. Sarvesh Chobe, a business strategist. He is a distinguished entrepreneur and a stalwart in the industrial cooling industry with over 15 years of experience. He holds a BE in Mechanical Engineering from Mumbai University and MBA in Marketing from Southern Hampshire University. He has played a pivotal role for the development, for the advancement in the district cooling sector, which generated recognition in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain during his tenure. He is an expert in providing membership and guidance from setup to scaling up business through ideation and business strategy, made by technological know-how, market dynamics, advanced business methods, and strategies enabling capitalize the possibilities of expansion and growth in the global markets. So, on behalf of APTI, the DY Patil School of Pharmacy, and all students, I welcome both the speakers of today's webinar, and I'm sure that the deliberations and discussions during these webinars will certainly be helpful to our students. And specifically, not from technical point of view, but I would request students to watch as well as to listen today's seminar from entrepreneurial angle, because you people must be having some opportunities as far as getting entrepreneurship as well as investment in this sector is concerned. Thanks. Over to today's speakers, Avinash sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Vivek, for introducing me. And it's a privilege for NAP CCM and the entire team to come over here and then present related to the importance of cold chain management. And I would like to thank DY Patil University School of Pharmacy and Maharashtra APTI team member and President Dr. Rakesh Somani sir for giving us this opportunity to discuss about this important aspect which is being ignored, and it is the need of an hour in the pharmacy sector, in all the pharmaceutical distribution, storage, and for handling the temperature sensitive products. So related to NAB CCM, we will just like to talk about that what NAB CCM is doing. So we are into education, training, certification, incubation, accreditation, as well as industry enabled education and forum. So here what we are doing is we are bringing together stakeholders from various sectors, that is from the government, industries, academia, as well as social body. The reason of bringing all these stakeholders together is because there is a guideline which is called good distribution practice guidelines. In some places we also call it as good storage and distribution practice guidelines, and this is well been practiced in developed countries in US and Europe. But in India, the GDP guidelines is still in the draft version, and our mission is to handhold the regulatories and to support the government to implement this, because it's a need of an hour because of the climate change and the external temperature that's rising. Because of that, there is again the products that is being stored at various places. From the point it is being manufactured till it reaches to the end consumer, it moves into various places and it is being stored at various conditions. So if it is not being stored as per the pack level, then the potency of that particular product gets deteriorated or spoiled, right? So what we will do is right now is we are going to just go through a short video about NAB CCM and what we are doing in this.
Accreditation body for cold chain management, NAB CCM, is the first of its kind ecosystem dedicated to advancing cold chain management. It is a collaborative initiative driven by partnerships between academia, industry, and government, focused on providing education, training, awareness, certification, incubation, and accreditation within the cold chain industry. NAB CCM aims that businesses involved in manufacturing, storage, transportation, and handling of temperature-sensitive goods are well trained and audited for best practices. This helps maintain the quality, efficacy, and integrity of goods such as food, medicines, and vaccines, ensuring consumer safety and regulatory compliance. In-depth research into the cold chain industry revealed significant gaps: lack of standards and policy frameworks, inadequate regulatory and policy guidance for effective cold chain management, shortage of skilled manpower, limited expertise in managing cold chain operations, absence of standardized education, lack of a defined curriculum for life sciences and healthcare graduates to prepare them for cold chain roles, lack of certification body, absence of an authoritative organization for certification or accreditation in cold chain management, lack of monitoring systems, ineffective tracking and tracing mechanisms lead to broken cold chains, low awareness, limited understanding within the community about the critical role of the cold chain in safety and efficacy, unsustainable infrastructure, insufficient emphasis on creating sustainable and efficient cold chain solutions. NAB CCM is established to bridge these gaps by optimizing processes and fostering collaboration among the government, academia, and industry. It aims to hand-holding regulators, develop and implement comprehensive standards and policies,
train and certify skilled professionals,
introduce and promote cold chain-specific curriculum, assist for end-to-end monitoring and traceability system, raise awareness about the importance of an effective cold chain, support sustainable infrastructure development. By addressing these challenges, NAB CCM aims for robust, reliable, and sustainable cold chain ecosystem that meets the highest global standards.
Yes, so this was the short video about NAP CCM and what we are doing over here. So here again, from the education side, we are trying to emphasize over here that how is cold chain management important and how we can implement it in the various academics as well as skill development, where the students can get an opportunity to enter into any kind of fields where they want to work, like either into manufacturing or quality control, quality assurance, regulatory affairs, supply chain management, where cold chain is now a need of an hour. Now cold chain is no more a luxury but a necessity. So we will just talk about like what is cold chain. So the next slide, please. Yeah. So what is cold chain management? So it's a temperature sensitive temperature control supply chain management, and the products that is falls into this category are all the drugs, the APIs, that is called the you can say the active pharmaceutical ingredients, the vaccines, the biological substances, all are temperature sensitive. Even now if you see there are a lot of like biosimilars that's coming up, all are temperature sensitive. There are cell and gene therapies that's coming, all are these are also like temperature sensitive. So these products are highly sensitive, and for this like the we have to ensure that it is being maintained at that proper temperature, and it happens during the entire process from the manufacturing, storage, transportation, distribution, and finally reaching the end consumer. So the entire supply chain, which is controlled by various like activities of maintaining the temperature, that is example is like some products like we have to store it between 15 to 25, some we have to store between 2 to 8, some fall under minus 20, some fall under minus 70, some into minus 150, and some cell and gene therapies it goes beyond minus 196 as well. So these things, storage and distribution of these products requires specialized trainings, specialized knowledge. And from where a person can get it is from the education. And this platform, we have created it so that we will be able to handhold and bring skilled manpower into the industry where there is a shortage. Because whenever when we are dealing with this kind of consignments, people are asking how it need to be stored, how it need to be how it need to be like packed, how it need to be transported, how it need to be validated. So there are a lot of activities involved in it. If you see the entire box, cold chain, it talks about validation, then automation, biologics, mapping, regulations, then certifications, then the refrigerations, and then the practices, the transportation, then the energy efficiency, sustainability. So everything comes into the cold chain. It's very, very important. Right now, in any pharmacy course or any life science or healthcare courses, there is no curriculum as such. And that's the reason we have brought this curriculum, because it's a need of an hour. And wherever there is medicine, there is a pharmacist, and wherever there is a pharmacist, there has to be a cold chain maintenance. Even a normal tablet and capsules, if you see, it is being stored, take for example in a retail local shop, if it is been exposed to an external temperature. So now the external temperatures are going around 40, 45 degree. And if you just, being a pharmacist, if you see the pack level where it mentions that the storage condition, it always says that store below 30 degree or store below 25 degree. And if it is been exposed to above temperature, so you can understand what will happen. So it gets deteriorated, the potency gets reduced. And that's the reason what happens when the physicians provide any medications and it is being taken by the patient. Sometimes it happens that the patient complains that I'm not getting cured, or the therapeutic value is not accurate, or like the doses need to be increased. Why this is happening? Because this is also one of the parameter, because from the manufacturer till it is being handed over to the consumer, if there is any broken cold chain, then obviously the potency must have reduced. And that's the reason cold chain is important. So we'll go to the next slide. So the several benefits we'll be seeing. So it helps in prevention and of medication and vaccines, ensures patient safety, because if it is not stored properly, what happens is, apart from getting deteriorated, again it will cause side effects, because because of that chemical interactions and all. Even reduction in financial loss, emergency preparedness, maintaining public health, reducing liabilities, long-term cost savings, enhanced reputation, sustainability, and also preventing pharmaceutical waste. Right? If you see like vaccines, like there are a lot of vaccines. What happens when it is being transported? It gets spoiled, and at the end, it has to be decomposed. So there is a wastage, and those patients who need the vaccinations, they are not getting it because it has been spoiled, because it was not handled properly. So these are several benefits for through this cold chain management. If you see from the regulatory point of view, in India, Central Drug Standard Control Organization has various regulations. Same like GM, we have like GXP guidelines when we call it, like it's GMP, Good Manufacturing Practice Guidelines. Then called GDP guidelines, GCP, Good Clinical Practice Guidelines, Good Documentation Practice Guidelines, Good Pharmacovigilance Practice Guidelines. Similarly, there is a Good Distribution Practice Guidelines as well, which is still in the draft version. And our main motto is to get this implemented for the benefit of the consumers and also for the healthcare workers, as one of it is the pharmacist, who should understand the importance of good distribution practice guidelines, because it's the very, very ignored sector and it has a very important role. Reason behind is, whenever anyone is saying that we are providing quality medicine, we can't bypass the good distribution practice guidelines, because if it is only manufactured as per the GMP guidelines, then we can only say that it's a good quality manufactured product, not as a good quality product that is reaching to the consumer, until and unless the GDP is also been stitched with the GMP and ensured that the GMP and GDP is being brought together, and then only we can say that a quality medicine is being provided to the consumer, right? So this is about the GDP, which is going to be implemented very soon. Some of the examples of these vaccines I'll just talk about over here. If you see this chart, on the on the left hand side, if you see these vaccines like BCG, OPV, then IPV, measles and all, they get damaged. That is because of the heat. That is, whatever the temperature at which these products have to be stored, if it is going beyond that, then it gets deteriorated. On the other side, towards the right hand side, if you see, there are some vaccines called hepatitis B, pentavalent, IPV, BPT and all. So what happens to this, that if we are freezing it below certain that temperature, then also it gets spoiled. So right now, what happens, like in the market, what you must be seeing it, that people are carrying it in thermocol boxes with ice packs put in it. Take for example, if an hepatitis B is being packed in that scenario, so the ice packs are always being freezed at -20, and if these vials are in direct contact with these products, then it will get spoiled. So people, when we say cold chain, people sometimes only think about the upper level of the temperature. That is, if take for example, if it is a 2 to 8 storage condition, then they always think that it should not go below 8. But we should also think about that it should not go below 2 degrees as well. So that's very, very critical. It's not just that like, okay, we have to just make it cool. We have to ensure that it is at the right temperature, and that's where the regulations comes into picture, and it's very, very important. So this was an example for vaccines. Similarly, like there are a lot of products in biologics, then biosimilars, cell and gene therapies that's coming up. Even capsules and parenterals are also of that kind, which if it is not been stored in the proper way, it gets spoiled, and no one is there to question about it, because even there is a lack of monitoring, as you have seen in the video, and that's where we are hand holding it. One more example I'll give you, like everyone has gone through vaccination during COVID, and some people must have taken Covishield, some Covaxin. These products storage condition was 2 to 8, and you must have, if you can analyze that what was the scenario in the primary health center, how it was being shipped, right? So if it was being not shipped in a proper way and it was not being in a proper temperature, it was just a placebo that was being provided. And that's where the responsibility was also been taken by private players also, to ensure that whenever they are sending it for vaccination, it should go in a proper packaging with temperature monitoring. If you see the picture there, there is a data logger which, if you can see, it's mentioned about 4.3 degree. That is, it was 228 product and it was being shipped at 4.3 degrees centigrade. So during the transit, it will track the entire temperature and it can be easily downloadable. So you can get the readings of every minute what was the temperature. And if there is any deviation, then we have to ensure that quality assurance and quality control department is having the responsibility to see the stability of the product, and then only it can be reused. Otherwise, it need to be quarantined. And that's the importance of cold chain, which a pharmacist, a nurse, or a physician should have an understanding of it. Some of the cold chain equipments that is being used during the storage, you can see these are the refrigeration systems. So these refrigeration systems, which you can see it on the slide, these have a monitoring data logger as well, and even there is a temperature display as also it's been mentioned. But if you go in any retail shops, what do you see? You see a domestic refrigerator, and in the domestic refrigerator you will also see that at the door of the refrigerator also medicines are kept, and these are being labeled as cold chain management. Okay, some of the pharmacy outlets or pharmacy chain, it's mentioned cold chain, right? But there is no monitoring and it's a domestic refrigerator. So how you can ensure that which shelf is maintaining the 2 to 8? Is it the bottom? Is it at the door side? Or is it at the top? Right? And for that, there is a thermal mapping that is very, very necessary to be done to ensure that every nook and corner of that refrigerator should maintain the temperature, what is written on the pack for storing it. So that's where even the regulations also have to ensure, the regulatory bodies also have to ensure that these pharmacy outlets should have industrial refrigerators rather than a domestic refrigerator. And if they are having a domestic refrigerator, then they should ensure that a proper monitoring is happening with data loggers or real-time monitoring system. If it is just a paper-based writing, then it's not acceptable, because if it is not documented as per the CFR Part 11 compliance, then it's not done. And that's the reason there is a criticality. Even now, if you see the chain pharmacies, they have done a good work in some of the chain retail chain pharmacies. They have made a centralized pharmacy where the ambient condition is around 25 degree. So that's a good thing. And they are storing this medicine. So that's the kind of storage or a pharmacy from where a consumer should buy medicine, rather than from an standalone pharmacy which is not having a controlled temperature in their premises. And that's the reason it's an importance. Cold chain boxes, if you see, as I was talking about, these are validated boxes. Again, thermocol, and then people, what they do is in the thermocol boxes, they will be putting certain ice packs at the top, at the bottom, and in between, they will sandwich with the products. But that's not acceptable. That's not the right way. It has to be having a proper way of packaging. And that knowledge will only come if a person is knowing about how to do the validation. So have validation of the boxes, how to do the thermal mapping of that particular boxes to ensure that, and how much capacity that need to be filled in, so that there is an equal circulation, for how long it is performing, these boxes are performing. If we have to deliver any consignment which is a transit time is 96 hours. And if the performance of the box is only 48 hours, then obviously it's not of use. So we have to ensure that first we have to do the forecasting, and then again a predictive analysis also, to ensure that what kind of packaging we are going to use, and for what is the transit time, in what climatic condition it will be traveling, whether it is a domestic distribution or it's for international export. So that's where these cold chain boxes and vaccine carriers are very, very important. And it's the sizes will be from 3 liters till 3000 liters. So it's very important over here. Even from the transportation point of view, if you understand, these cold chain related products movements happens by roadways, then by sea, by air, and as well as by drone delivery system as well. So by you can say, like, by road, by sea, by air, even by rail also. Now there are railway is also adopting this. Like, initially they have started for perishable like fruits and vegetables, but going ahead it will be also the pharmaceutical products will be also traveling by railways, and there is a need of trained personals in the railway as well. So those who are working over there has to be there. Again, at the airports, there are pharma zones that's coming up. If you go to Delhi airport, go to Mumbai airport, go to Bangalore airport, go to Hyderabad airport, go to Kochi. So all these big airports from where export and import happens, they have pharma zones. And these pharma zones have pharmacists. And these pharmacists need to understand the importance of cold chain, because there are separate storage conditions. It's 2 to 8, -20 chambers, as well as 15 to 25 environment where bulk shipments happens. And it's not only tablet capsules, parenterals and all, it's also biologics, cell and gene therapies, even organ transportation also happens for organ transplantations, right? So those are very critical one, and that's the reason it has a good opportunity for pharmacists to have this knowledge and build a career in this, right? So this is about the transportation. Even now you must be hearing in news about drone delivery system. So there are a lot of e-commerce that have come up where we are shortening the travel time. We are also minimizing the carbon footprint. Like, take for example, if it is a hilly terrain, and if by road it's taking around 1 hour, and if there is a possibility of transporting it by drone, obviously it will be reaching in 10 to 15 minutes. So you are reducing the fuel consumption. So the carbon footprint you are reducing. You are saving the environment, right? On the other side, you are delivering it on a faster way, right? The availability is faster, correct? So these are the ways. Like, there are a lot of technologies that's coming up. There are a lot of handholding that's happening. And for this, in NAP CCM, we are bringing all the stakeholders also on board, all the departments, from the manufacturers, distributors, wholesalers, warehousing companies, then logistics companies, refrigeration, transportation companies, railways, everyone we are handholding together, even the academias also. And academic is very, very important over here. Yeah. So when we talked about the packaging, we talked about the transportation, then comes the monitoring system. Now, if we are transporting it, but how we will assure that it is, whether it was being in a proper temperature. And for that reason, you can see in the picture, so these are the called data loggers. So these are portable data loggers which travel along with the medicine, if it is an export or any domestic distribution. And it monitors the temperature inside till it is being delivered. And then you can plug in on your through USB, and you can get the entire graphical representation of the movement of the in that particular consignment. So it could be a single wire, till it could be a bulk shipment of API, that is the you can say active pharmaceutical ingredients, which is used for finished formulations, as well as the commercial products. And all these products moves with these kind of temperature data loggers. There are a lot of like development that has happened where IoT monitoring system as well as real-time monitoring system has also come up, where there are companies who have access to the transport during the real-time live movement of that particular product. They will be able to track on their dashboard that what's the temperature and where that product is lying. Because there are situations what happens like during the transportation, take for example the road transportation. Mostly during the transportation, the drivers they switch on the ACs when they are like again resting in the night, and that way what happens, the product gets spoiled. So there is a training that's required for drivers as well, because they should understand that they are carrying life in as a consignment, not a normal product. And whoever is involved in good distribution practice guidelines practices, where pharmacist is very very important, they should understand the importance and they should learn to handle this in a proper way. And that's where we are guiding the pharmacists, the healthcare workers, the nurses, the physicians, to ensure that the healthcare fraternity helps the consumers and the patients in having a quality medicine rather than just not only a good quality manufactured medicine, either in domestic as well as for export. Because we call India as the pharmacy of the world. Why? Because when we are sending medicines outside the country, take for example in US, then we are following US FDA, and there in their US FDA norms also good distribution practice guidelines is there. And if it is not being sent in that proper way, then it will be cancelled over there and it will be wasted. Similarly, in Europe also, the same MHRA guidelines they have to follow. So in India also, the GDP guidelines has to be implemented by CDSCO so that all the stakeholders can follow these guidelines to ensure the quality medicine reaches the end consumer. So as a pharmacist, those who have already studied or those who have or those who are working as well as those who are already into undergraduation, so what's the aim after doing your graduation? You will be entering into manufacturing, quality assurance, regulatory affairs, clinical research, marketing, or higher studies. Wherever you go, cold chain is a need of an hour, because now 70% plus percentage of the products are cold chain. Even the ambient, when we say, like previously the ambients were 25, but now the ambients are 40-degree. So those ambient are also now coming under cold chain. So any product, a tablet of 25, which has to be stored at 25-degree, also comes into cold chain. And we have to ensure that the storage from it, the point it has been manufactured till it has been reached to the consumer's home should be in that particular temperature. Right? So there are e-pharmacies that have come up who are also transporting it in a faster way, but it has to be ensured that it goes in a proper way with a proper monitoring system. Even there are vaccinations happening at the private clinics. So the physician should ensure that their refrigerations is running 24/7. It should not be that, okay, during the vaccination time, they are switching off their that cabinet and then they are putting that vials. Because that's the thing that we are seeing, that there are a lot of gaps, and we want to handhold all the stakeholders involved in that, from the academia, from the industries, from the government, and from the social body, to ensure that the patients are not left behind with spurious or substandard products. Right? So the job opportunities you get it, as we were saying, if you go into manufacturing, there are a lot of companies like Sun Pharma, Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, Novartis, Pfizer's, all these companies emphasis in cold chain. So if any student or any graduate who has done a pharmacy course, just a certificate, and if there is a specialized certificate of cold chain, obviously that person will get a better edge in getting an opportunity to enter into industry fast, because the industry needs skilled manpower, skilled people, as well as skilled and trained people, so that they don't have to again retrain them. Now when they train it, like what they do is like they train on one aspect of the cold chain, But here, what we are doing is we are giving the information from the manufacturer till end user. So this knowledge will be helpful in entering in any diverse sector which is mentioned in these boxes. If you see in clinical trials, people think that okay, like after pharmacy or nursing or something, like we will be going for clinical research. So people think of going for pharmacovigilance, data management. Why can't you think for clinical trial supply chain management? That's the core area where pharmacists are required. But there are very few people, and those who enter, they get a very high package over there because there is a shortage of skilled manpower. Even in pharma distributors, as well as in hospital and pharmacy chains, there are cold chain related requirements. So a person with a degree with a cold chain certificate will always have a better edge, because these chain pharmacies and hospitals also have storage conditions where these medicines are stored at the distribution centers or the fulfillment centers, and they need those people who are trained. Even during transportation, the next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. So if you see over here, the logistics companies, those who are handling logistics. So here, like the companies like Snowman, DHL, FedEx, Blue Dart, RMX, these are some of the names where even they handle healthcare supplies. And there is a separate department called healthcare logistics where there is a lot of need of skilled manpower. Diagnostic industries, Metropolis, Thyrocare, and also where the blood samples is getting transported. Now, take for example, if the you can say these blood samples that is been collected, if it is not been transported in a proper way, do you think that readings that is been received is proper? If the readings are not proper, obviously the treatment will not be proper, and that's the reason cold chain is important in biological these samples as well. Warehouses, there are certain warehouses who are purely focused on complying for export and import, like Cargo Service Center, DP World, it's a multinational company, Arihant, Guba Cold Storage. So these are some of the names. Airports, when I was talking about, so all these airports, they have pharma zones. Seaports, they have pharma zones, like in JNPT, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority over here in Mumbai, they have pharma zones. Again, the Navi Mumbai airport is coming up over here. Again, there will be a pharma zone that will be built, and there will be a huge requirement of manpower in this cold chain facility that's coming up. So students should always think of what's the new thing that's coming up, and this is not been taught in curriculums right now, and that's the reason we are bringing it with the help of APTI and DY Patil University to ensure that we have this curriculum implemented in pharmacy curriculums as well as other healthcare and life science curriculums, right? So these are the job opportunities which I'm talking about. So any field you go related to healthcare, you can't bypass cold chain, and that's the criticality of it. So this is from my side, and now I would like to hand over to Mr. Sarvesh Chaube, who will talk about the other aspects of NAPCCI.
Thank you, Avnashji. First of all, thanks to DY Patil School of Pharmacy, APTI Maharashtra, and special thanks to Dr. Rakesh Somani sir and Dr. Vivek sir for giving this platform. And first, we'll talk about cold chain community. So after you have listened all this technicality, why cold chain is important, how it has been placed in the industry to optimize the process, and how we can contribute to GDP part. So the process is very simple. We have to bring government, industry, academia, and social body all together to discuss on this so that we consume and we look for the better future as far as health is concerned. Next slide, please. So let us understand what is Vice Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. His view on NAPCCM and cold chain management is. Can we play the video, please?
by NAB CCM to start this particular activity. I'm sure you will not come up with a solution or a guideline in one night. It is an evolutionary mechanism. It will keep on improving based on the feedbacks from the stakeholders. But I think this is the right direction to translate the outcome which we are going to get from NEP. NEP involves the training of the final student to make him or her usable or employable for a specific application. But where does he use his skill set? These are the activities which I just listed out will provide these skill set usability for these industries, for the students who are going to graduate. It's going to be additional at least another 3 years before the first NEP graduate comes out. We implemented in 2023. So 2027, the first NEP graduate with a different level of skill set is going to come out in the market. And by that time, if these opportunities in the cold chain management are made available to them, that is going to open up another area of employment for these students. So I'm really glad that someone has taken this initiative, and compliments to NAB CCM team to have this seminar here and make people aware of the efforts which they are taking and which they plan to take in future. And I look forward to listening to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, so next slide, please. So let's jump to our most awaited topic. What is this course all about? So you can see the course that we have brought here is Executive Program in Cold Chain Management, which is called EPCCM. So this is for graduate from life science students and pharmacy especially. And this course has a duration of 35 hours. This course is online, purely online. It includes a lot of chapters. There are around 24 chapters in it. And every chapter has a few modules ranging from 5 modules to 10 modules in each chapter. And each module is of 8 minutes. So even though you are in traveling, you can just watch those videos. It is a voiceover video, and you have the knowledge of it. And then you have a test Q&A in the end of each chapter, and you have to score at least 70% to enter into next chapter. If you don't score 70% above, then the next chapter will not open. So you can see the learning outcomes where you can understand the critical component of cold chain management, as it was being explained in the PPT previous by Avnashji. Then you'll be familiar with the various cold chain technologies, tools used for temperature monitoring. You have an in-depth understanding of the regulatory landscape and compliance requirements. And you can also develop the skills to manage risk and ensure the safety and quality of cold chain products. You'll be able to design and optimize cold chain systems for different industries. And this course is in the fees is 25,000 rupees plus GST, and it is available. If you please go to next slide. Yeah, this is our website, which is nab-ccm.com. And once you open it, you go to program section, and once you click the courses, then you will be able to see the course 1, which is Executive Program in Cold Chain Management. There is a enroll now button below course fee 25,000 plus GST. Once you click that, you'll be guided with the process of paying the fees, and then you'll have login ID and password, and right away your course starts, and you can enroll in and you can start studying. So the next course is Foundation Course in Cold Chain Management, which is called FCCCM. So FCCCM is for all the graduates, and when I say graduate, it is for even though you are pursuing or completed, this course is for you, and even the EPCCM is for you. This course is for any stream whether you are from art, science, or commerce background, this course is for you. This is a fundamental course where you have a basic knowledge of cold chain management, and but after this course also, you will be prepared for the various jobs roles in diagnostic company, logistic company, warehousing company, airport, seaport, railways, pharma healthcare companies, food industries, horeca sector as well, clinical trial supplies, pharma distributor, hospital and retail pharmacy chains. And learning outcome of this course is you will be able to understand the critical component of cold chain management and overview the basic things. And you'll be familiar with various cold chain technologies and tools used for temperature monitoring. Then you'll have in-depth understanding of regulatory landscape, and these are the same outcomes, but this is just the overview in nutshell. And this course duration is 18 hours and has a fee structure of 5,000 rupees plus GST. And you'll be able to see the next course in our website, which is Foundation Course in Cold Chain Management, FCCCM. And you can see the Enroll Now button. Once you click that, you'll be directed to all the processes to pay the fees, and then your ID, login ID, and password will be generated. Next, please. So some key topics of the course, I'll invite Avinashji if you can emphasize on this to.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
please.
So both the courses again, the overview of it, like you will get some of the topics that we have mentioned it over here. So if you can see, understanding of GXP guidelines, thermodynamics, and the effect of temperature on medicines, cold chain management in biologics, biosimilars, cell and gene therapies, and mRNA vaccines, regulatory requirements and compliance, storage facility design, how you are going to design the storage facility, then the temperature control system, how you are going to do the mapping of that particular facility. So that knowledge, the thermal mapping of cold chain, that you will be getting it. Then the cold chain logistics and distribution. When logistics and distribution, when we are talking about, we'll all talk about how transportation happens by road, how it happens by sea, how it happens by air, and then what are the various components that's involved in various modes of transportation, even toll delivery system as well, and railways. Similarly, in cold chain packaging, we will be able to study about the active packagings, then the passive packaging, hybrid packaging, and there are other technologies, biodegradable packaging materials that's coming up, and how it is helpful in maintaining the authenticity of the particular products. Cryogenic products, packaging, containers, and shipments. When we are talking about cryogenic, means 196 minus 196 degree temperature products, that is the cell and gene therapies, they are called cryogenic products, and how it need to be handled, stored, and moved from one place to another. Waste management, how we are going to ensure that the products that is being spoiled, how you are managing it, like so that it doesn't enter again into the circulation for consumption. So the waste management, quality control, and quality assurance related to cold chain, that this department is also available in pharma zones, is also available in warehouses, distribution companies, logistics companies, and warehouse companies, all the other places as well. Not only this quality control and quality assurance is not only restricted to manufacturing, it's also goes into the other departments as well. Similarly, into the clinical research also, where clinical trials happens. And the clinical trial supply chain management is a separate department which is a part of clinical trials, right? Blockchain technologies, you will be able to understand. You will also learn about the clinical trial supplies, how it happens end to end, manufacturing, how it's done, CNF agents, like carrying and forwarding agents, like how do they handle it, how you can be a part of it, wholesalers, distributors, then the retail pharmacies, e-commerce, end users also, like how they need to handle. And then if you get the entire knowledge of all this, you will be able to get into any department, in any sector of the industry. Not only manufacturing, it could be in logistics, warehousing, transportation, and so on. then even into testing laboratories and diagnostic industries as well, you will get an opportunity. So these are some of the topics like which we have tried to put it over here, but apart from this, there are other topics as well. And along with it, like with EPCCM, we are also bringing up kind of a training program also, which will be an handholding like experience in the industries, because we have collaborations with industries. When we are talking about collaboration from industries, because we have our cold chain community body, so there are stakeholders from the manufacturer, then the warehouse companies, logistics companies, warehouse companies, logging monitoring companies, then the IoT device developing companies, refrigeration technology development companies. So we are handholding them so that the skilled manpower who will be coming out from here, obviously by default, they will be absorbed from through our stakeholders itself. Okay, and additional responsibility, additional benefits, like Mr. Sarvesh, if you can just explain it.
Yes, thank you. So these are the additional benefits of this course. So you'll be able to get a chance to do project on pharma cold chain management, and you'll be able to get a chance to publish your research papers and articles in cold chain community magazine. So we are coming up with our cold chain community magazine for the very first time, and it will be published in the month of June, and where you will be able to if you want to give your project or research papers to be published in our magazine, and you can mail it to us on info@nab-ccm.com, so that if your topic and research paper suits our requirement and parameter, then we will publish in our magazine. Then you'll be able to take the opportunity for industrial training. Yes, of course, after the course, you'll have industrial training where you can call it as internship or training, uh, where we will be sending you to get you ready for industry. Then opportunity to interact with industry stalwarts, as you have seen that we have a community on in cold chain management. So in that community platform, there's a website called coldchaincommunity.com. If you go there, you'll have a forum, you'll have talks, all the events are there. So those are the activities where you'll be indulged in, get a chance to indulge in with stalwarts of the industry. You'll get an opportunity to be part of pharma healthcare cold chain industry with the starting salary range of between 3 to 5 lakh per annum, and it is for the freshers that we are talking about. And if there is a multinational company you're joining in, your salaries for the freshers will be a bit higher on that. And you'll be able to get a chance for career mentorship. Yes, you will get career mentorship with our team, with the stalwarts from the industry, and with our stakeholders, in the later phase of our journey. All right, so this is all from us. So I'll hand over to Ashish ji, if you can take it further.
Yeah, thank you very much, both of you, for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely go ahead with the next step, which is the Q&A, in case we have any question and answers from the audience. I'd like to also add Dr. Vivekji to be a part of this particular forum. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have received a couple of questions right now. Where the first question, which goes to Avinashji, how are the temperatures monitored at local pharmacy? And so yeah, we can go one by one. So Avinashji, these are the three questions that you have. Maybe the first question that I've already asked you.
So it's a very valid and a very good question about the pharmacy, like how the temperature has been monitored. So if you in India, it's not been monitored. Frankly speaking, it's not been monitored. Even the drug inspectors also have to get retrained on the importance of cold chain, because the GTP is not yet been implemented. And that's where like the we are bringing ahead like the social body, so that they can bring awareness about the importance of this monitoring system, so that the products are being stored properly. But yes, I would vouch for I would say the chain pharmacies. They do have a centralized monitoring system. So they do have monitoring systems in their facilities, like companies like of e-pharmacies and all, you can say Wellness Pharma is there, and then Dava India, then NetMed, then Tata 1mg. So these are the companies. Then Apollo is there. So there are chain of pharmacies who are following practices, and I would say that, like, okay, like if they want, they can purchase from there because they are more reliable in comparison to the standalone pharmacies where there is no monitoring, no proper temperature storage facilities that's available right now.
Yeah, thank you very much. The next question, I believe it's more relevant for India. I would say, what if during transit the vehicle breaks down?
Okay, so what happens is, like, during transportation, see, if it is an export shipment, and take for example, if anything, like if a manufacturing has happened at Badi or at Sikkim, right, in Gangtok, and if it has to be transported like by air from you can say Mumbai or Delhi, then if they have to send it by road transportation, and since like it is an export shipment, then obviously like they always have a backup system in place. So the transport companies, when they are tying up these sponsor companies, when they are tying a sponsor these vehicles, then in that case, that vehicle company also maintains a backup during that particular transit during distances. So at every hubs they have a support system in over there. So if there is a vehicle breakdown, then immediately what they do is, like, they will be organizing a space where they can push that particular product at a cold storage facility which is nearby. And that's how, like, they when there is a vendor management system that is there in place, what happens is, like, these companies have to do a registration where they have to tell about all these things, like you can say the risk management side also, how they are going to like solve these problems if these things happen. So they already have a backup plans. If these kind of risk managements happens, then in that case they will be either pushing it into a cold room which they have tied up in various places during that particular journey, or they will also have vehicles lined up at various other places from where they will be connecting it, and they will ensure that it is been again put into that particular vehicle and it is being moved. So, but one thing is there. Yes, these vehicles, when they are moving, always what happens is these
Hello.
cold chain packagings
नहीं, नहीं,
maintains the temperature for certain duration, right? So it's not only like they will be putting it only into the vehicle. These cartons, they will be always packing in such a way that if there is any deviation, then at least it can sustain the temperature for 3 to 4 hours. Between that, they will be able to manage the risk by various other arrangements.
Thank you. That's an excellent answer. I believe this is the next question for Sarveshji. Does this course guarantee internship?
Yes, the first course, which is EPCCM, Executive Program in Cold Chain Management, guarantees internship, and which is rather than internship, I would say it is in the industrial training, where you'll get to interact with companies, and you'll be trained in the actual premise of the cold chain industry.
Just to add one thing, that the course also has live pictures, like whatever is been practiced, that is been implemented in that particular course, and you can see it live, that okay, how the monitoring happens, how like the data monitoring, how the validation happens. So the real scenario is being put into the course curriculum.
Excellent. So these were the questions that we have received from the audience. Yeah, and I believe you can definitely keep on giving more questions again, and we would be able to reply back to those through email. You can share the email addresses. Yeah. So anything else that you want to add?
I think there is one more question in the comment.
There was a repetition of the first question, the temperature monitored and the transit in vehicles. That was the one.
Yeah, somebody is asking about, student currently in their second year of B Pharmacy can enroll in this course, or what is the criteria to enroll in this course?
Okay, yeah, maybe you can answer that.
Yeah. So yes, even though you are in first year, second year, third year, you are pursuing graduation, or you have completed graduation, you can enroll in this very much. If you are from science background, or life science pharmacy, then you can go for EPCCM. And if you are from other including science and you want to go for foundation course, then also you can go for foundation course. And either you are pursuing or completed, you can enroll in it.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Any more questions from the audience? Fine. So with this, we come to the end of the webinar, and I would like to thank each and everyone, all our speakers, to be a part of this particular webinar today, and also all the delegates to attend this. And in case you have any questions later on, you can directly mail to Dr. Vedji or maybe to Mr. Avinash ji, right? And we look forward to conducting similar kind of webinars in coming months as well that will add a value to the entire students and the teachers as well. So thank you once again. Thank you all, and we look forward to connect with you again. Thank you. Goodbye.